Okie doke. Hello, DaMastah1. Your question is, my biggest question is, why am I losing consistently? My goal is to hit diamond by the end of the summer, and at that time, I was very close. I reached plateau not too long ago, but soon after I went on the biggest losing spree I've ever had, lost all my progress, and was in plat 4 again. I don't know why I lost so many games in a row, since I was playing the exact same way I was before. I've looked at dozens of guides online, and nothing seems to improve my chances of success. This is the first time while playing this game over 2 seasons where I feel truly hard stuck. The reason I would like to hit D4 this summer is to apply for a coaching program. My question is, what are some things you wish you knew before you became a coach at Pro Guides? Okie doke. So what I'm getting from the first one is mainly why you don't have consistency or why you can't climb. And then with the second one, what are some things you wish you knew before you became a coach at Pro Guides? Not much. Like most of it, where I've been involved with League for so long now, is you just have to I learned everything I needed to for the most part, in terms of how to talk to people and whatnot as I went. So any sort of preparation and whatnot, other than learning the game itself, I don't really have any insight on that. So I would say really study the game for what it is, and really practice it, and practice what you study as well, and that will be really all you need. The things that I had to learn from Pro Guides was mostly just communication with people. So anyways, we're going to start off here with a full clear and then skipping golems to go to top side scuttle, which is totally fine. Top side scuttle into a top lane gank. So this is what we would be seeing, which is a very easy gank given that Alawi had to TP back, and then he's totally doomed. So a good kill here. And yeah, this push or this wave won't actually crash, so it would have been fine for you and Ryze to stay for the next wave, but Ryze was too low of HP. You also don't have to recall. Your blue side camps are going to be coming up, so stay and then farm your blue side camps down, and then by the time that you reset, your golems will be dead, and then you can reset back to the bot side with dragon coming up. So this recall just kind of sucks because we're not going to be on Noonbow Quiver gold, and without that, we're not clearing as fast. So the pickaxe and the boots just don't do enough. We don't want to be delaying our mythic item with boots and then also missing out on Noonbow Quiver. Obviously just feels a whole lot worse because it's just more faster clear speed for us. So into another full clear. And then we also kind of miss out on taking Shaco's camps, but it's not a big deal. And then another kill into top lane, which is good enough. Into another recall. And then we're pathing down to the golems with our blue coming up, which is okay. And then kind of looking for the dragon. So it's kind of entertaining a lot of things here. The golems, the dragon, and then any bot lane play. So here's what we see. And it's kind of a reactionary gank from us. Support's going to instantly die, and then you don't want to use your ult right here, I don't think. It's not so obvious that we can get onto them, given that Echo has a lot of mobility and so does Vayne. And they also have a lot of tools to provide for each other. So I think save the ult and just keep walking into them and see what you can do. Because by the time you get in distance of Echo, he still has his ulti, and then has a lot of mobility after he casts that, plus his flash. So all in all, this is a whole lot of time spent. Obviously, you can't know before you leap, but the main thing you need to focus on when going for these ganks, in terms of consistency, is knowing what you're getting into before you end up there. So let's say if we're watching the map, this is kind of what we would see. So we'd see the Echo coming in, and then us walking to this is fine. Then as Echo would go in, get the kill. I just don't see any kill onto the Echo, given that he has his ult and flash up. So I don't think spinning the ult there is worthwhile, even though it's such a low cooldown. And those sort of things, it's the main thing I'm trying to say is really look to understand what's going to happen before you end up in the fight. Okey-doke. So we're counter jungling. Shaco shows mid, so we go for the dragon. This is okay. And then into a recall, into our top side. Nice. Now we have the Noonbow Quiver, the crit cloak, and we'd be closer to the mythic. So let's say we full clear here and then just reset for a Kraken Slayer. If we're just off the gold for the Kraken Slayer by like 300, then yeah, we don't have it, and then the build path into boots looks a lot worse. So here, it's like, what's going on? Just full clear, just full clear. So our bot lane dies. This is what we see, but this isn't even a very obvious gank, because what does the Vayne and Lux want to do? They want to clear this wave, get the one turret plate, and back off. Do we have enough time to get there before that happens? Like, no. If they overstay for it, that kind of sucks, but it's not something consistent we can really play around. And that's what you really want to be looking for here, is like consistent gameplay. It's also very, very likely that the Tribros is going to be warded by the time you go there. So skipping the Raptors here just is too much. Like, it's asking too much of the enemy without respecting, like, you know, what they have. So they have the ward, and they have all these defensive tools to deal with you, and then they can walk away. So it's pretty close onto the Lux, but still, if you're not coming from behind and not sweeping as you go, things like that, then it's so much less likely that that's going to work out. So really, really think about like what's going to happen before you get there, like if you should go, rather than showing up and then, you know, playing it out. Doke. So we're still full clearing enough, but we could just be on a better path. You need to be on a path in which you're like ending up back at your camps whenever nothing's going on. So like we walk to bot lane for a fight, we need to be of the mindset to like get back to our Gromp and Wolves like as they're respawning. So if we walk to the bot lane and nothing happens, and then we stick around there and then nothing happens, you know, for a long time, or even worse, something like this where we just get caught out, then all these camps could like go to the enemy jungler. With Shaco, he's not really attacking them, but we just want to end up there so that we can get them regardless if the enemy jungler is trying to attack them or not. Just build up more resources very, very consistently for us. A champion like Master Yi just doesn't have great gank tools or like fighting tools either. You're a champion that's really, really trying to power up, and the camps are the only consistent way to do that. And it's not like you never can fight the enemy. You just have to be... Also, this reset doesn't make any sense. You have to be on a path where anytime you're fighting the enemy, if any of your camps are up, then it's probably bad, unless like you're, say, skipping golems for something, you know, the camp that takes the longest to do. So try to kill all your camps and then look for plays. So here, they're sieging mid, kind of. Oh, whoops. Kind of went too far back. They're sieging mid, and then you reset right to the mid lane. And they're going to kind of do this without you, even if you want to attack them, right? Here's the situation. Shaco with ult, Echo with ult, Alawi with ult. They don't care if a Master Yi comes solo to like farm this wave. So reset back to your Gromp or back to your golems. In this case, let's reset to the Gromp so that we can clear Gromp, blue, Raptors, or Gromp, blue, Wolves, Raptors, red, golems, and then end up on the dragon, for example. But instead, we're just going to walk mid, look at them for a while, have to back off, and that's that. And then we end up on a weird path where all of our jungle camps are up, and again, the downside is like, the faster we clear our jungle camps, the faster they respawn, the more golden XP we get, and the faster they respawn, the more golden XP we get, and just rinse and repeat that over and over and over and over and over. And that's how you want to be playing Master Yi. It'll also create very, very consistent gameplay for you, because all these fights and all these skirmishes don't make much sense if all your camps are up. Okay, so our bot lane's just totally eating it this game too. They have about 10 deaths altogether, so that's going to make the game a bit harder for us. You also could have considered going like lethality this game instead of on hit, because they have so many squishy members. Duskblade, not a bad item on Master Yi either. Oh, so yeah, a whole lot of dancing around the dragon, but we inevitably go back to the camps. And then finally, it's like finally we're back on the full clear. Alawi wants to die. He just walks it out. Good enough. Then we kind of luck out, dodge the Alawi E. And then we look for the bot wave, so good enough. But all this happens because we full clear up, right? We just full clear like into whatever happens. Now the second thing that I think you need to work on, let me write the first part down actually. So the second thing the first thing actually, full clear, like stay on the full clear. If your camps are up and you're fighting, then something's gone wrong for the most part. The second thing is let your team start things for you. That's really how this game falls apart in the mid game. You try to like do it yourself, and Master Yi's not a champion that can do that. You need to like spin your allies kind of like pawns. Master Yi is a carry champion, but needs like support from his team. So anytime your allies slow CC, start a fight in any way, even if they're getting caught out or something stupid, the enemy's going to be spinning abilities on them, and you really need to be paying attention to things like Shaco Box, Lux Q, any CC that you can have, so that you can know like how, not how, but if you can go in on a fight or not. Good oak. So we clean up the Echo, we go farm the side lane. You also don't have to be obsessed with like attacking the enemy nonstop. Whenever the waves are coming into you, for example mid lane here, like even though this is happening top side, this wave's coming into you here, and you'd be getting solo golden XP for it, so it's fine to just stick around mid lane. You can kind of play Master Yi like an 80s. You can play the macro of Master Yi somewhat like an ADC. Like you're just looking to farm everything on the map when you can safely. And you're waiting for a fight to start for you to get in there and kill them all. But it's easier for Master Yi because he has more DPS and a whole lot more damage, survivability, utility, etc. whenever he goes in a fight compared to an ADC. Kind of awkward. Let's see how this plays out actually. So Echo's on the golems. We get hit by the Q, Ryze goes in, Ryze runs away, and then you Q immediately. You don't have to Q immediately. You have the movement speed towards the Echo, and the Echo's kind of stationary, slightly running away. You want to be saving your Q for like maybe a Lux Q that'd be coming up, because you're going to gain the distance on the Echo, and you're also trying to wait out his ult. So yeah, without the Q, now you're trying to like run away when his stun's coming up, for example. So save the Q there. Keep walking into them because you have the movement speed. It's just being a little impatient with the dash. That's how most champions with dashes are. At lower MMRs, it's like everyone just spins them like a luxury, but you really need to be spinning it to dodge a stun, dodge a skill shot, something like that. Not just to immediately get onto the enemy. Oh yeah, you gotta avoid the wall. This one's easy actually. Alrighty. So Vayne gets mortal ulted. We try to go onto her. So auto, and then move to the right. If you're right here, stun onto the wall. Here's the wall. Here's the wall. Like if we're over here, she's going to be pushing us back to here, and then we can keep going that way. So we're back to full clearing. Echo tries to attack us. Let's see if we could have done anything here. Kind of unlikely though with our Q being on cooldown. So Q's up, Echo W's. We hit the blast cone. It's kind of awkward, but works out. Auto, 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 auto. And then we don't have enough for the Q. Do we not have vision? Yeah, we don't have vision. Karma not using the ward or anything. And then we also take the damage from his ult over the wall. Oh, and this is asking for way too much. Given that the Echo's coming. Oh boy. But do we get out? Nice. Okay, good enough. But like, same deal that I was talking about earlier with the bot lane plays. Ask what you're getting into, like as you're going. So Echo starts the fight. He goes over the wall, right? He goes over the wall, and then we see the Alawi. And then it's like we want to kill the Alawi, but there's an Echo right here, basically. Like, even though he's not showing, we know that he's going to be coming from behind. So even if we Q onto this Alawi, Echo E and Qs, and we're like instantly dead, you know? It's just Echo's damage. So even moving into the Alawi here is just bad intentions. Our ult is expiring and Echo's coming to kill us. So ask, like, ask what you're getting into. And you have to do that. By that I mean, like, look at the mini-map, look at the situation with your camera, and then really, really, like, think about how it's going to play out before you get into it. And then in the fights, it's more so like react to what's happening. So we know the Echo went into the Fog of War, things like that. Once again, as we reset, we're not like resetting to any Any particular camps here? Whoops. So we reset and Shaco shows bot. And then we could reset to the golems here, ping the Ezreal off, but it's fine not to. And then the wolves are the only camps up. And whenever all of our camps are like taken, if the enemy has control, we can also just look to like sit in lanes and get the XP, like share the XP with our team. With Master Yi, that's kind of fine to do. So we get caught out for the wolves, and then, I mean, that's kind of a result of how the map is though. Ezreal pushing bot doesn't make too much sense. Our Ryze being weak, and then basically just the whole map being controlled by the enemy. It's like they have our wolves warded, and then that's the Baron. So sometimes games are like this whenever the enemy has control over our jungle. That doesn't have much to do with the main question, which is like how to gain consistency in the gameplay. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to here. Looks like not much happens. So they take our turret bot lane, and then they're trying to siege bot. We have Kraken Slayer, Rageblade, Ninja Tap, and then building into Sterax, it looks like. Oh no, and then we face check this, which, same deal, like ask yourself what you're getting into. We saw on the minimap Echo and Lux here, and then we just face check this. So it's like, what if Lux binding, Echo, QE, and then Vayne E, you know? Where's their entire team right now? And then what's the value of checking this? Like, let your teammates do this. Let the Ryze walk in, let the Karma walk in and ward, you know, let the Ezreal shoot a Q. You're spending too much of yourself for your team, and Master Yi's just not a champion like that. You have to like let your allies kind of play the map, and then you just show up to clean up fights, or at least follow up on them. But those sort of movements, like trying to get vision, is too much. Oh yeah, and then we're caught out by the Lux Q and then instantly taken out. And the game goes on, which is kind of surprising, given that they have all these minions. Okay, so Ryze ults in, doesn't actually ult in. And this game actually keeps going. Okay. Alrighty, I guess we kind of saved the day. We respawn and take the Vayne out. You can Q Vayne's E. So as we would approach, we ulti, we smite, and then auto, and then as you hear that, here, let me shut up and actually just play the sound. Okay, so as you hear this, that like elastic sound, right? As soon as you hear that, you have to Q. Or, you know, be over here, not over here because that will shoot you into the wall. But yeah, this could have been game if the condemn like means more, you know? Alrighty, Operation Save the Base. And we just keep getting chunked by Lux. We kind of have to clear the minions. The enemy is going to get the dragon, which isn't the biggest deal. And they'll probably just push down again. And then from a position like this, it's up to the enemy to win the game. So it's fine for you to play all the way to your Nexus. You want to be pulling them into this, rather than like trying to take the fight like on, you know, on their ground. So we have Sterax, we have Rageblade, we have Ninja Tabby, we have Kraken Slayer, but the enemy's way stronger than us. And then mostly it's like the mid AD support are just way too weak. 14 kills, Echo, even with these items, like might as well be 10 kills, you know, in terms of like easy champion to play. So Vayne goes in, Mordekaiser lands the E, and we're just too far back. If you're on the same line as Mordekaiser here, you can immediately follow up, but if you're too far behind him, then you're playing too defensive at that point. And then trying to move into the Vayne takes longer. We have to invest the Q, and then the Q doesn't do anything because of her tumble. But we flash in and then use the Q, but it's not going to be enough, and then the enemy is just overpowering our whole team at this point. So, let's go back to the original questions here. With this game, my main thing is just, if you power farm in the early game, everything is going to be more consistent. And it's not about getting like early leads with Master Yi, because you're inevitably just going to be chasing inconsistent gameplay in solo queue, because you'll be able to get like random ganks off that shouldn't work. But if you're full clearing and then reacting to what's happening on the map rather than forcing weird things or moving to every fight that's happening without really questioning it and skipping camps for that, like whenever we skipped Raptors to try to go bot lane, for example, then everything's going to be too inconsistent. And if you just full clear, you can be 0-0-0, have 130, 40 CS, and then with your Kraken Slayer and boots, then you're kind of online. And you keep powering up past that. And then at that point of the game, entering mid game, you need to let your team start a fight for you because Mastery is a carry. He doesn't have any CC for himself. And then carry champions deal a lot of damage, especially in Season 11 now, to him. So you have to let your team start fights for you, or else you're just going to act like a support for them, but you're going to act like a really weak support because it'd be like a Vayne trying to start a fight for a team, for example, if you're the one going in first. So yeah, I think the biggest things to work on is consistent clearing on the jungle path. That's going to make the biggest difference because it makes the games more consistent. And then when it comes to fighting, letting your allies do more before you go in. Don't be too far back. Just be like right on them and then waiting, kind of playing through them in a way. Playing as a carry and waiting to get supported, basically. And the third thing kind of just has to do with like awareness. Ask what you're getting into whenever you're moving to different things that are happening on the map, and ask if that is worth skipping the jungle camps for, or if you could get farm on the other side of the map. So let's say a stupid fight's happening bot. Let's say you full clear from your red side into the top side, and then there's a top lane wave, and both top laners just TP'd bot. It's like maybe you just stay top, clear 2 to 3 waves into the enemy golems, into resetting back to your respawn golems. Something like that, you can acquire way more farm rather than walking all the way from like Gromp to bot lane, for example. So, yeah, hope that helps. And good luck on your climb, man. I'm sure you can get to D4 so long that you just stay on a full clear and don't try to go for these random fights. And then good luck with applying for a coaching program. So, yeah, hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on the Pro Guides website, man. Peace.